I received a question from section 9.4 about the video presentation, and here is the question. I'm having trouble understanding how k squared over 9 is equal to k squared minus 8/9 times k squared. The problem is 1 over k squared minus 7 at 2739 of the video. Okay, so the instructions are to use the comparison test to determine if the series converges or diverges. And again, if we ignore the 7, we're looking at 1 over k squared. So we're looking at this, and we should have the intuition that this series is going to converge, because if we ignore the 7, we have the series of 1 over k squared, which is a p series. And that converges because p is bigger than 1. But we're having a little bit of a difficulty here. This is one of the cases where the comparison test makes things more difficult, because we have the minus 7, the k squared minus 7 is less than k squared. And so then when we flip it, we get 1 over k squared minus 7 is bigger than 1 over k squared. And that's not good, right? So we need our terms to be smaller than the terms of a series that converge, if we think it converges. And what we've just shown is that the terms are bigger. And so then I was trying to walk you through how we could go around this, but ultimately the lesson that we should have gotten out of this video is that the limit comparison test is easier to apply. But let me go through the question anyway, right? So we have k squared minus 7, and we see that we don't want this less than. We want it to be greater than, right? So that way when I flip it, I get less than. And so then, because this is starting at 3, and when I plug in 3, 9 minus 7 is 2. And then over here, if I just have k squared, then I get 3, and I want the left to be bigger than that, so I just put in a factor of 1/9, because when I put in 3, I'm going to get 9. And then that makes this 1 when k is 3, right? So when k is 3 on the left, we will get 2. On the right, we will get 1. And so then this factor of 1/9 fixed our problem and made it bigger, made this the correct inequality when k is 3. But I wanted to show you that this was always going to be true for k bigger than 3. And what I did there is, this is a little, like, I understand where the confusion comes from. This seems like I pulled it out of thin air. But what I'm trying to do is I want to compare k squared minus 7 with 1/9 k squared, which is kind of hard to compare those just by looking at them, unless I take k squared 1/9 k squared and I rewrite it as k squared minus 8/9 times k squared. And Tyler's asking, well, how are these two things the same, right? But you remember that the way you combine like terms is by adding the coefficients. The coefficient here is 1. So this is a coefficient here of 1. This is a coefficient of 8/9, and 1 minus 8/9 is 9/9 minus 8/9, which is 1/9, right? Now, so not very common for you to go in this direction, to take a nice simple expression like 1/9 k squared and write it as k squared minus 8/9 k squared. And you might be wondering, well, what was the point of that? Well, now it makes it easier to compare, because now you're comparing k squared minus 7 with k squared minus 8/9 k squared. And so then you can see that here you're on the left side, you're only subtracting 7. On the right side, you're taking k squared and subtracting 8/9 k squared. And when k is 3, you're subtracting 8. And when k is 4, you'll be subtracting 8/9 times 16. This one's always subtracting 7, and this one is growing, so you're always going to be subtracting more than the 7 over here. And so that's why then this is greater, right? And so now that I have a greater, now when I flip it, I get 1 over k squared minus 7 is less than 9 over k squared. This one converges. And so then these are smaller, so then this one converges, right? So what I'm saying is the series of 9 over k squared converges because it's a constant times a p series where p is bigger than 2. And so then therefore, since down here we've shown that the terms for the ones that we were given, these terms are smaller, therefore the series that we're given, 1 over k squared minus 7, converges. Okay, so I hope that answers the question. Also, I encourage you guys to send me questions either from the homework or from the videos, and I will make a video, upload it, and then you can watch. Thank you very much. Bye.